I always get questions about what I do, and the one thing I think most people are surprised is how absolutely little it is. I know the few movements that get me into probably my best functional positions so I can go be active paddleboarding or working on the farm or doing some of the other stuff. So I exercise so I can be more active. I don't exercise as my activity. But when I've got Indian clubs, the very first thing I try to do is just dump some tension. And I just get that little forward backward swing and I start doing it saying, all right, am I 50-50 on my feet or am I really shifting my weight? And I try it both ways. So I sit here and actually shift my weight so I can turn a little more, and then I don't shift my weight and see how that does. And one side might feel more tense, and I just breathe my way through it. And the way I'm going to tell you to do this is I always inhale in the turn, exhale here. The turn is a more extension movement, and for those of us who are always trying to keep our core engaged with our stuff, that's a nice little trigger to do. So inhale on the turn, exhale, inhale, and then just play with your weight shifting to the point where you could almost work single leg stance by taking a foot and putting it up like that. One swing behind, one swing through. And it's a lot to think about, but it's a great way to dump tension. So when you just start doing a move with the Indian clubs, and all these are on the basic program we did, but try to sort of just let your body move, work your foot position, and just go both patterns. And so all I'm doing is both patterns in reverse. And it takes about a month to get this fluid with it, but then you can start getting some directional and moving it in one direction or the other direction. And then the one thing that Dr. Ed Thomas had done is he'd always started adding foot movement to it too. And I think a lot of times we're just a rooted tree just thinking this is an upper body exercise. So I can basically get a backward lunge and put myself into a pretty good position just like this. And I'm just trying to sync the movement so my calf is doing most of the work, just creating that transition. Yes, you can take it lower, but why would you until you're ready? And just sort of work out each side. So the number one thing I'm doing with these clubs is giving myself a chance to see symmetry each way. One of the greatest ways I've ever squatted with clubs is I put both clubs in one hand, and I just get into a squat stance that I feel like being in today. I swing the clubs down, and as they're going up, I go down and come back up. It's actually easier when the clubs are in motion because when the clubs are up, I pull myself up by pulling the clubs down. And when I swing the clubs down, I just follow that momentum and let my T-spine and hips do something independently. So, and then I get a chance to do it on the other side. Now I have some more stuff where I will step to the side and do things like that, but basically it's just throwing the clubs that way. And so the first was a backward lunge, this one is more of a forward lunge. But if you do what I'm talking about, which is dump your tension first, and then use your left-right movements, compare your balance and upper body mobility and stability, you'll get a pretty good feedback loop. Some days this is 5 minutes, some days it's 15, and it all depends on how smooth it's going, how quick I dump tension.